Krishna Das here with the big announcement for Wisdom of the Sages listeners. This August will be Ashram month at the Super Soul Farm. Simple ashram living, rising early, morning kirtan, yoga and pranayama, healthy vegan and vegetarian meals, farm seva and being immersed in nature, and then gathering in the evenings for kirtan and readings. Plus, each week we'll have a lead presenter teaching a different facet of the philosophy and lifestyle of Bhakti-yoga. Week number 1 will be the exceptional Bhakti Lata teaching a course called The Beauty of Bhakti, bringing the culture of love and devotion into our lives. Week number 2 is my brother from another mother, Raghunath, teaching Falling in Love with Divinity, the Bhakti-yogi's method for opening the heart. And week number 3 is myself with a course called Following the Path, examining the history and teachings of Bhakti-yoga. You can come for 1, 2, or all 3 weeks, and the pricing is by donation. For more dates and information, go to wisdomofthesages.com/events. Peace.
Live from Laguna Beach Temple, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Krishna Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to California. I'm in California. I rolled in here yesterday with Tarun, my son, and met up with my son and daughter, had a beautiful reunion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And how are they doing?
They're doing good. They both gave me really
This is the first time you've seen Rocco with short hair since he was like born.
Yeah. He never had short hair. Had his hair cut off.
He's doing service.
He set up the Rath Yatra tents.
I think, the days, it's not far away, Raghunath, where like Rocco is going to walk up to you and say, Father, I will take over the podcast now. You go live a life of solitude. You've done your service, and I will lead the people now.
That would be good. That would be good. He's too calm. I need someone a little more psychopathic.
Well, that's Tarun will take. Rocco can take my role, and Tarun can take yours.
But everyone in California is great. Hung out with all these devotees I haven't seen in a long time, and I fell asleep at 5 p.m. and I just woke up at 4 a.m. So that was a good little sleep.
I got a lot of sleep.
I'm back. I'm going to do the podcast. I'm going to get in the car. I'm going to drive to Long Beach. I'm going to do a 6-hour class at Studio 108. Come join me. Then I have lunch there, and then do the program this evening at the Long Beach Temple.
Very nice.
And you know what's happening then? Well, then there's Rath Yatra tomorrow. But you know what's happening then? I'm going on vacation. I'm here on vacation, doing nothing with no plans. Okay. I don't usually do that. I usually have some type of plan. I'm doing nothing. Look at Jiva Life Coaching. He's going to be thumbs up while she's eating.
Shunny.
While she's eating her porridge, she's like, yeah, do it. Don't give me a thumbs up with your mouth open, lady. Now I'm going to relax for 4 days. And then I'm going to, I'm going to go check out the new Ben and Esther's in Carlsbad, California.
How far away is that?
Well, I'm going to teach a class it's near San Diego. I'm going to teach a class there also. I'm going to check it out. We're going to go to Mukunda Kishore's house. I'm going to go swimming. And
I saw Radha Swami was there for the grand opening.
I know. How cool is that? Having a Swami for your grand opening, it doesn't get more auspicious than that.
Yep.
You know what's even more auspicious? While I'm doing this, Mangalartik is happening right outside this door.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. And this is the first temple I ever slept overnight in.
And you're back.
I'm back. I've got a long history.
That's where you were first told to give your life to just this one life to Krishna.
Just give this one life to Krishna. I was like, one life?
It's the only one I got.
This one life. Just give this one.
The whole thing.
That was so 1.0. Just give your one life to Krishna. I don't even believe this. I looked at the guy. I was like, I don't even believe this stuff. Let me give my one life to Krishna. It sounded so culty, didn't it? You just give this one life to Krishna. You can do whatever.
It was good advice. You ended up doing it.
And I ended up doing it. I followed his lead. Anyway, good to see everybody. So it's question day today. And tomorrow, you're going to do an interview.
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow. So we got this is an announcement. Tomorrow at the regular time, 8 a.m. Eastern time, I will be interviewing Bhakti Marg Swami.
He's very cool.
Yeah, he's got a new book out, which is his memoir. and he's known as the walking Swami, right?
Most
Because
swamis don't walk; they just sit.
well, he walks, but he doesn't only walk. He like walks from like one end of North America to the other. Like he's crossed North America, like I don't know, 4 or 5 times or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I
He
knew
just
he walked, but I
walks.
didn't realize he walked.
You didn't know that?
Not across.
You would
America.
find this interesting. You should try to
I
tune.
find it very interesting. I'm wondering if I could do that, Mara. What do you think?
I was just saying, maybe you need it, Raghunath. Wasn't I just saying that, Mary?
Yeah, I think you could do it, Rago.
I could bike
Be good
ride
for you.
across America. Walking, my feet aren't that good. I don't think my feet would
Get some
bail
good
out.
sneakers. You could do it.
Yeah.
He's the walking monk. They call him the walking Swami. He,
And what's his book called?
oh,
The Walking
I
Monk?
don't know right now. It's a new book.
Probably The Walking Monk.
Yes, it's about walking. I don't know, but we're gonna ask him all about it. But that's what swamis used to do, right? They would just like walk, from town to town, just walk, just go. And so he actually does that nowadays. He just walks across the country, meeting people. You spend time with God. Internally, you meet for you kind of put yourself in God's hands. I'm just going to wander, and wherever God takes me, I'll be meeting new people. I'll be trying to see God in the hearts of every living
I
being.
wonder if he has a place set up to like where he's going to sleep. Does he walk with a?
I think there's some.
tent?
I think there's some kind of support system, but I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow.
Because that would be really cool to walk with nothing.
Just like sleep on the side of the highway or something.
Sleep, just sleep.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the new. Anyway, I'm going to miss that tomorrow, but I'll be back on Monday. It's Rath Yatra, and I got to just get up and go.
Okay.
And get these kids organized. And
So that's
dressed.
tomorrow, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mary?
Otherwise, I'll see everybody in the LA Rath Yatra. Mara, what other announcements you got?
We got a Bhakti recovery group meeting today at 9:30. It looks like his new book is called The Saffron Path.
That's
by
it, the
Bhakti
Saffron
Marcel.
Path.
Yeah.
I would have went with the Walking Monk, personally.
Right.
Because I think it's catchy.
Let him title his own book, Raghunath.
It's a subtitle is Trekking the Globe with a Walking Monk.
There you go.
So,
It's in the
Trekking
subtitle.
the globe with the Walking Monk.
Mhm.
yes.
That sounds like he didn't write it,
No, well, I think
right?
he wrote
It
it.
sounds like someone else wrote that because I'm like tagging behind him. Trekking the globe with.
Let's not
Okay.
be so critical of his title, Raghunath. Let's just accept it as it
I'm just
is.
always thinking of things like this.
Okay.
Now, what did you see the gift I got? I won't show you, but I'll show you.
You got a new ring?
It was gifted to me.
What is it?
I can't tell you who, but it's a sapphire and had a deal with Saturn. Sapphires are connected to Saturn.
Okay.
For some people, sapphires can cause hell. For me, they can ease some of the issues going on in the material world
Okay.
that might be in the way of my.
Well, we're
path
gonna.
of bhakti.
One of the questions today has to do with jewelry, so we can discuss this.
Mm.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay,
And
yeah.
We'll give a
get
shout out
into
to Premanjali and Radhikesh, our astrologers. They designed the jewel. They got the
Okay.
jewel. They're like jewel experts. It's part of their astrology gig. They're jewel experts.
Very good.
Anyway,
Okay, we're gonna let's wake up. Come on.
I'm up. You're telling me to get a little bit more aggro.
Yeah, a little pep. I want to see a little pep out of you. Come on.
Yeah. Mara didn't make me my mushroom drink today.
Are you ready?
Hit me.
Okay, so we are continuing. You weren't here last week for the Q&A, Raghunath, but
No.
we took question. We there's a person wrote in named Suv.
Suv.
Suv. I guess it's short for like Suvarna or something like that.
SUV.
SUV. Suv. Suv wrote to us with like a whole list of questions. We got to like half of them last week. We'll pick up more today. Yeah. So Suv she was born in a South Indian Brahmin family. She wrote a whole letter. I'm not going to read the whole thing again, but I'll just summarize. She was born in a South Indian Brahmin family and grew up in the Brahminical culture, living in Mumbai. Okay.
Okay.
And, being brought up in that Brahminical culture, there's all kind of rituals and rites to perform and so on. But frankly, no one really explained the meanings of all these rituals to her growing up.
I get it. And you can get lost and then you're thrown into Americanism. Is she living in America right now?
She did a stint in America, but then returned to India.
That's enough to throw you way off course.
Well,
One stint in America. Woo.
it's well, but even in India, it wasn't all clicking, you know.
Sure. It's
So
lots of rituals. It's not explained. Sometimes maybe the people teaching the rituals don't even quite understand.
they may not even know themselves, right?
Yeah.
And then she said intermittently she was listening to satsangs in Tamil, which is her mother tongue,
Well,
after she got married. But she found these satsangs, I mean, you know, there's lectures, different talks, but she found them to be complicated at times and clueless as to how to implement like all the things that they were saying.
yeah.
And at the same time, she had all kind of responsibilities with family, children, professional work or overwork, friends, colleagues, travel. Time for spirituality was not a lot left, right?
Sure.
Then she said, finally, after a stint in the U.S. and later moving to Hyderabad and beginning to balance her lifestyle, then she began listening to Wisdom of the Sages.
Wow.
And she said the wisdom is that she started listening, and all her questions were getting addressed slowly and also in a simple and engaging and fun way. Okay.
Wow. You know what? All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's like
A couple clowns like us.
couple clowns. A couple clowns like us explaining this to South Indian Brahmins. But, you know,
Right.
Prabhupada walked that line. Our guru, if you're unfamiliar with Prabhupada, it's our guru's guru, who basically came to the West and he had the very difficult mission of keeping authentic Vedic traditions and explaining them to a bunch of beatniks and hippies who were just, you know, who were taking drugs, having orgies, living like on the brink of insanity, and like trying to like melt these two cultures or inspire and write purports in such a way that Indians also can reignite their taste in spiritual life, because they watched, he witnessed America drifting towards, or I'm sorry, India drifting towards materialism and consumerism. And here's me and Kastuba trying to do this very thing. And I can understand how Hare Krishna 1.0 in the 60s and 70s was almost really sort of kryptonite for a lot of people. You see some guy dancing in the streets in a robe and selling you a Bhagavad Gita. It's like, eek, it could really freak you
What was
out.
that?
Well, first of all, we were like unexposed to any other cultures. There was no internet when we grew up. So wearing robes or swamis or anything, it's just even the concept of yoga in the 70s was weird.
Even there weren't that many Indian people living in the United States.
There weren't many Indian people. That's hard to believe as well.
Yeah.
You know, and so the whole thing was very foreign. And if not foreign, it was met with like a cynicism, skepticism, you know, it didn't quite make sense. So either like you were fanatically really into it, or just like repulsed by it or weirded out by it. And now the times they are changing, and borders have been broken down. The internet has exposed different cultures and different cultural things. People are much more open. Veganism, vegetarianism, animal rights is more in the
food.
whether you believe it or not, it's in a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can go to a restaurant and there's a big green V with a leaf next to the food. I was like, what? They're showing off what's vegan in the restaurant. There are vegetarian restaurants everywhere. There's, you know, everybody's
There's a vegan Jewish deli in the neighborhood.
There's a vegan Jewish deli in San Diego and Portland. So this is like, times are changing. We're not living. Things have radically changed since you and I were kids.
Okay, but let's get to this question, Raghunath. Okay,
So
thank
anyway,
you for your social.
It's my
exposition here.
appreciation,
Okay.
and I get it. So I can understand how a person like Suv can be sort of like lost without like a relevant explanation of what the heck is going on.
Right.
While the rest of her culture, understandably, is getting sold consumerism, even by their parents.
Right. Okay. And so Wisdom of the Sages has been answering those questions. You're giving the credit to Srila Prabhupada, which I appreciate, because he did have a way of explaining it all that made sense and was practical and relevant. Okay. And yet she says, still, I keep getting questions in my mind every now and then, and I try to capture them She writes them down. So here's the list. So we did half of them last week. You can go find those. You ready for the rest now, Raghunath?
Yeah.
Okay, the first one goes right to some of the stuff you're saying. She says, I don't know if this is a question, but whenever I hear bhajans, mantras, etc., so this means like these devotional music, devotional songs and devotional music. Whenever I hear them in typical old style Indian music and tunes and singers, it does not touch my heart most of the times. And the tendency is to swipe to the next song. The background to this is because many Indians commercialize even the songs for God. It's just, you know, because there's a big whole movie industry in India that, you know.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. However, when I hear the same songs or mantras or bhajans sung by foreigners, ISKCON followers, using simple music instruments, it deeply touches my heart. Somehow this feels so genuine. I'm trying to tell myself not to make this distinction. Ultimately, all are Krishna's names. However, it seems like a deep-rooted idea in my mind which is not going away. Any tips? She says also something related. I find simple kirtans to be much more heart-touching instead of elaborate ragas. Somehow the latter seems superficial most of the time.
Or indulgent, maybe. Yeah.
Huh?
It's a little bit. I think it's a little bit of both. I think our conditioning to keep things sort of simple, or the music sounds sort of foreign, and maybe for her the ragas are rooted in some type of thing with family, or maybe something that draws more towards materialism, believe it or not, in which he hears a fresh Hare Krishna singing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. It's something strikes a chord in her. I get that. I think both are great, and both will change, and it will change. I have an appreciation for different types of kirtan as I get older.
So you're into commercialized, superficial, heartless kirtan? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm thinking maybe traditional kirtans. Maybe she just doesn't resonate with them because it all sounds like, you know, for example, if you grew up in a Catholic church with lots of rituals, and then all of a sudden you meet some cool, you know, Christians who are playing folk guitars and singing day by day, that might resonate with you more than a Latin mass. Okay. So, you know,
but the impression I get
that could feasibly get her back into Latin masses.
But this wasn't so much the Latin mass. it sounded like the commercialized, you know, kind of
obviously
Bollywood thing that she's
Bollywood
more objecting to.
Yeah.
And you know, my thoughts are, well, you know, that's great. In other words, what this kirtan is, what it was meant for, it's meant to be a like an avenue of expression of love for God. And some people are doing it for money, some people are doing it for popularity, you know. And as you were saying, like what Srila Prabhupada taught his followers was you do this, you know, as an expression of love, and when it's done that way, you feel it, and it's transformative. And if you're not feeling that, in other words, if it's done for any other purpose, it's not really kirtan. It's not really authentic. It's not really effective, even. You know.
Yeah, I think things will change. Things change over time. Also, you could get, and you'll be drawn as we develop our own purity. We develop closer and closer to pure things. But the holy name is the holy name, and it's very, very powerful. And it starts to wake us up. That's what you find. You start to like you show pictures to a person who has amnesia. Hey, check this out. That's a picture of you and me. Like, I don't recognize you. Don't you remember me? Here's a picture of us when we were 5 years old. Here's a picture of us, at summer camp. Here's a picture. And they might get some glimpse into like, oh, that reminds me that. Yes. Now I remember. Kirtan or sacred sound has that effect. So whatever you're attracted to is good.
I don't know if I fully agree with that.
No?
Well, in other words, I think we should feel a little bit of aversion towards like commercialized so-called devotional music.
It depends what you call it commercialized. I mean, if you call like East-West Kirtan commercialized, I don't think so.
She was actually going the other way. In other words, she's saying that like there's this
I'm not
commercialized.
familiar with
Yeah.
commercialized kirtan.
Well,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I get the impression she's talking about like Bollywood stuff.
And Bollywood is all love songs.
No, but no, Bollywood, all that stuff is growing out of the whole tradition of bhajans and
Well,
all of that.
I can't speak for that, but if it's speaking for
Or
non-traditional,
there are people that are
kirtan,
just singing it because it's
that's what I'm
traditional.
saying.
There are people that are singing because it's part of the tradition, but may not actually even feel they're just like popular music stars, right? There's all kind of popular music stars in India that have
I'm not
popularized.
I wasn't answering in reference to that.
That's
So
what I
that's
think she's getting at.
referring to. That's what she's referring to. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
It's going to be secondary. If something she relates to is simple or with a Western flavor, then yeah, it's going to affect her.
You know where I'm at?
Yeah.
You know where I'm at right now, Raghunath, in my own.
You're at chastising Raghunath no matter what he says. That's where I think you're at today.
No, I was only when you validate.
That's where I think you're at, exactly.
Only when you validate bogus kirtan. No, but where I'm at in my own like kirtan experience,
Yeah.
is like I'm happy with any simple kirtan, but what I can't there's like like take musicians, like even devotees like in ISKCON and so on, but like a guy gets a hold of a mridanga, right? And then he wants to like kind of like really learn the beats, and then he kind of wants to show it off a little bit, and the kirtan's going, and then this drummer is just like more or less just trying to impress everyone. And for me, I'm just like, dude, it's like you think this is impressive, but actually you're just getting right in the middle and muddling the whole thing up. I want my mind not to go to you and your super skills. I want my mind to go to Radha and Krishna in this. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm trying to experience right now. I just feel like I so much appreciate it when there's like just a kirtan with no ego in it, when it's just done solely for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna. And I want to experience that. I want to go deep into that, and I find myself, I don't know, maybe sensitized or oversensitized. I don't know, but it's like, I'm a little intolerant now. I feel a little intolerant.
Yes,
I feel a little intolerant, I just want it. I think it's a very beautiful and wonderful thing when a kirtan singer has that depth, has that spiritual depth.
Yeah.
And is singing purely for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna. I think you get swept. When we had that kirtan, for instance, when we had that kirtan Madhava was singing when we were up in July 4th, that time up in Super Soul, a month or two ago, whatever it was.
That was nice.
That's a person who's like said, he's taken this, he's not a commercialized guy, right? He's not doing it for name or fame. He's doing it because it's a deep spiritual practice. He's giving his mind, his heart, his life, his voice. He's giving it to Krishna. You feel it. I want to feel that. I want to feel that every day. You
know where I'm at lately?
Where are you at?
Now
he's going to try to counter my thing. Well, I'm just accepting of everyone. I'm not
accepting and loving. Yeah. I think you should follow that path.
Well,
too.
you know what? I think.
No, let me tell you where I'm at.
Okay, tell me where you're at.
Where I'm at. I'm at a place too.
Okay,
I'm at a place. I'm somewhere. Here's where I'm at. Okay. I like hearing like people who are very new to Bhakti sing
kirtan. Oh yeah, that's nice too.
Because there's something so like innocent about them.
I'm with you.
They have their because that familiarity sometimes breeds contempt. But at a new stage in people's Bhakti or their harmonium playing, there's so much sort of like a newness where they respect everything, and because they maybe screw up or hit a sour note, they're a little self-conscious, but they're going to do it anyway. And there's something beautiful in that freshness of brand new people singing that I'm really appreciating lately.
I like that too, Raghunath. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
It's skills are beautiful when they're offered to Krishna, and they get ugly when we try to use them to glorify ourselves.
Yeah, even Vedic skills.
Even the Vedic skills, right? Even that expert mridanga player or whatever it may be. I'm not against great mridanga player. I love a great mridanga player. But a great mridanga player isn't a person that's like making a big show and rocking out. Like, actually even, I think it's in the Bhakti Ratnakara, this, this beautiful book about Sri Chaitanya's followers, it describes what a mridanga player should look like. And it's like, it's effortless, right? It's not like they're like, you know, Pete Townsend trying to like, you know, windmilling a guitar or something like that, you know? It's like they're just like, they may be playing very skillfully, but it just looks effortless, you know, because they're not trying to steal the stage. They're just trying to accompany the name, right? The sound of that name. They're trying to bring everyone's mind and attention to it, lift everyone up in that direction, not
Nice way to
steal
put
the,
it.
right?
Nice way to put it.
Yeah.
Trying to serve God, not be God. That's a biggie.
Yeah.
Trying to serve God, not be God.
That's the essence, isn't it?
It really is. And the essence of everything, truthfully.
Yeah,
Just
that's
not
what,
just
the essence of everything. And in
the essence of
kirtan,
Mara look at Mara toiling away in the kitchen.
yeah.
Is it about her ego or is it about
No.
her offering? That's the
She's number
question.
one, but it's not like, to her, that's not why she's doing it. Right?
Yeah.
What she's about to
still
lean in.
number
She
one.
says, I want to be number one. And no, she's number one. That's great. She's number one in Columbia County. But she does it to serve.
Let's expand those territories. Let's take over other territories, Mara. Dutchess County,
Okay.
Orange County, Greene County.
You ready for the next question?
Yep.
So this one, she says, to attain Krishna. Okay. I've heard in one of the episodes of Wisdom of the Sages, I guess, that even this one lifetime is enough. You can do it in one lifetime. You could achieve that perfection, Krishna Prema, pure love of God. Whereas in another episode, I heard that one can take many lifetimes to perfect oneself to attain Krishna. I'm now a bit confused which one to focus on. Please help. Here comes Raghunath.
One life.
One
You can
life.
do this in one life.
Just give this one life. That's what we said earlier.
Do this in one word.
Krishna. You can do it in one moment.
One moment. Yeah.
It can be. Or it can take.
We don't know what your
previous
Krishna's
lives were.
potency. We can't underestimate Krishna's potency and the potency of the devotees.
I like that answer.
And the blessings of the devotees. Of course, Krishna.
We're prepared to take many lives, but we're also eager to achieve it in this life as soon as possible, right?
Yeah.
You know what my thought is, Raghunath?
What's your thought on this lately?
Is that it requires, we say that attaining Krishna Prema requires two things, right? It requires, you know what I'm getting at?
Mara?
Grace and effort.
That's exactly what I was looking for. Mara is like good. Mara's like
she
just
comes off like not so spiritual there,
no,
banging pots and pans around, but she's quite a spiritual lady.
She just kind of came into the picture frame and just like dropped.
She just ran back in her clogs.
Do you wear those Crocs in the kitchen?
No, she wears those upstate New York clogs everybody wears. Are they kitchen clogs? You know who wears clogs too? European truckers.
All right.
European truckers, right? Europeans, write it on the board. European truckers wear clogs.
Okay.
So you wear, Mara.
So that's a squirrel. But yeah, it requires these two things. One's own effort and endeavor. We got to get serious about ourselves and apply. But ultimately it involves grace. You know, it involves the blessings of Radha and Krishna to develop love for them. But what I'm realizing is that blessing is there. It's just that we need to be eager to want it. You know, it's like anyone that wants it sincerely, that blessing is there, you know. But how focused are we on it? How much effort are we putting in it? It requires both. And so my realization is if it's all that I want, that blessing is available right now. We don't have to wait around, what to speak of lifetimes.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, something,
we're distracted.
I feel things are happening so exciting. I really feel there's a Sankirtan tsunami happening. That's what I really feel. I really feel like everything's blowing up in a very beautiful way.
2.0 is what you're thinking about?
It's 2.0 is blowing up Krishna consciousness, and I'm excited about it. It almost makes me want to, if I die, take birth again, just so I can be part of it.
But you're here right now, Raghunath. You don't have to die and take birth.
I'm just saying if I have to die.
Yeah, come back for it. Yeah, that's
come back to be part of the tsunami.
That's also what I'm thinking.
What am I going to do in the spiritual world? Serve? Why not serve? I get to serve you guys. I get to serve all of you guys. Imagine if I die and Wisdom of the Sages is still going on, and then when I finally hit the age where I can 8 years old, like Karuna, and I hear the podcast, something shakes in me. I was like, this, and someone I'm being replaced by.
But how will you be hearing it?
Jimmy
Because
James
you'll be dead.
replaces me.
Okay, I see.
No, because I take birth again.
No, but who's
Saying,
doing it? Because you're dead. So like, who's
I'm
doing
dead,
it?
but you'll do it. You'll find somebody to replace me.
All right.
Neil Maxwell. I'm just looking it over.
I could be dead too, but I think maybe
Margarita.
Tarun and Rocco. That's the team right there. Maybe.
Okay. Okay. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what you do. You
Right.
hand it off to the kids, right?
It depends how I die. I might not have that. Might not be that
It's not
eloquent.
dependent on you, Raghunath. They could pick it up
No.
on their own.
Okay. Yes, they can.
Mhm.
All right.
So it can be one life. It can be many lifetimes. All we want is to serve, right? Just that's what
That's why the very first steps of bhakti, Prabhupada would say these new devotees, they're pure devotees. Don't you get it? They're serving Krishna. They're focused on Krishna. They're
right. That's a
following
great way to
spiritual
look at
path.
it, Raghunath. In other words, I may be walking around with a mind full of samskars and full of desires. They may be deeply rooted, but I can say, even though I have a mind like that, and therefore it's interfering with the full blossoming of my Krishna prema, of my love for Krishna, even though my mind is getting in the way right now, I can still make the decision that I'm going to serve Krishna anyway, right? I'm going to wake up. I'm going to chant these rounds as best as I can. I'm going to serve throughout the day. I'm going to serve the other Bhakti-yogis, I'm going to hear from Bhagavatam today, I'm going to choose to use my life in Krishna service. The day is going to come. It may be tomorrow. It may be a couple of lifetimes down the road where I don't have a mind that's interfering anymore. And the full manifestation of that love will manifest it, so that when I chant this name, tears start pouring from my eyes and I get goosebumps,
Coming, the stuba.
It's coming, and it may come, and like I'm saying, it may come tomorrow. It may come 3 lifetimes from now, or 100 lifetimes from now. As long as I have the association of the devotees, and I have the Bhagavatam, and I have the holy name, that's okay, right?
Yeah.
10,000 lifetimes is relatively short, even in one sense. Although it seems like a long time. I'd rather it be sooner.
Yeah, let's just do it in one. How about just this life, or maybe next life?
Okay.
I don't want 10,000 lifetimes.
But there's that story from Chaitanya, is it Chaitanya Bhagavat, right?
Yeah, he says, "Oh,
We got to tell the whole story.
You won't be liberated for 10,000 lifetimes," or something like that. And he says, "Oh, 10,000, thank you. You've shown me so much mercy."
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Lord Chaitanya, can we negotiate this?
Can we make it, how about 10?
How about 4,000? How about 10? I know you said 10 million. How about 10? And can they go really quick?
Yeah. All right. You ready now for the next one?
Can't barter with Lord Chaitanya. Write that one down, Mayor. Can't barter with Lord Chaitanya.
Okay. Here's the next question, Raghunath, and this has to do with gold, jewels, gems.
Ooh.
As you're sporting your new gem on your finger there. What is it? Sapphire?
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. In one of the episodes, I heard that all gold, valuables, and gems are meant for Krishna. Why do humans put certain metals like gold on ourselves? Even from the olden days of the kings, etc., it was done. Should we not refrain from wearing it as it is meant for Krishna? Raghunath?
Right. That's why
Morning?
before you wear jewels, there's rituals before you wear this.
What kind of did you do the ritual before you put on your sapphire?
Well, you know what? You want the God honest truth?
Well, I have
He
a
told
feeling.
me afterwards. He told me after I put it on. So I'm doing the
okay.
ritual today. I literally just got it, but I was going through a hard time the other day. So I got home. It was there in the mail. I put it on.
Wow.
And then as I'm flying away, I get this text message. Hey, make sure you do these rituals. I'm sent before you wear them. I was like, I already wore it. Did I ruin this ring? And he goes, no, you can redo it.
Okay.
But
Wash it.
But it's a very, very a timely question, because the idea is, because you're wearing it to assist you. But you're right. Now you can also, if you do decorate your body in Tulsi and things like that, you want to look nice. And the idea is you want to look nice for Krishna.
Well, Tulsi, is that meant for looking nice?
Yeah, it's for Krishna, it looks nice. When Krishna sees his devotees in Tulsi, he's
What
pleased.
about gold?
What about gold?
Well, that's what the question is about. people
Oh, for
decorate
wearing
themselves.
jewels. Well, you got to. Here's the deal: if you're going to look nice, have your consciousness. I want to look nice for Krishna. And if you feel like unattracted to, some people are very repulsed by the idea of decorating their body because they feel like, oh, they're all in their ego. Then don't do it. Some people really dressing is part of their thing. It's a big part of who they are. And by the way, for people who say, no, not me, start to re-examine yourself. I know the most,
take a good look in
some
the
of the
mirror.
most fashion conscious people I know are punks who they would never wear, if I say wear a gown, they would no, I'm going to wear these ripped black jeans and black sneakers and black tattoos and black hair. You know what I mean? But that itself is an attachment to ego. So I'm saying we all have this ego. We're dealing with it. Think about it. I want to dress that Krishna is here. He's pleased with me.
Okay, let me ask you this. Sue was saying, I've heard in the episodes that all gold, valuables, and gems are meant for Krishna. Is that true?
Ultimately, everything's meant for Krishna.
Okay, there you go.
Ultimately, everything's meant for Krishna.
So what do we say near mama?
Nothing's yours.
Nothing's mine.
Ideally, even if you have tons of gold or no gold at all, suppose you have no gold and we used to know this homeless guy, and who used to just carry a shopping cart around. Does that mean he's completely unattached and a self-realized soul because he has no material possessions? No. If you
Not
go up to him
necessarily.
and if you take a can out of his can collection in the shopping cart, he might become furious because it's got nothing to do with the value of the gold. It's your attachment to the stuff that you have.
Uh-huh.
So in the same way, you could have gold, but understand, like, what's the difference if I have a big house or a big car? I understand it's all Krishna's energy. I want to use my energy and my thoughts and my words and my resources to serve
Okay,
Krishna.
you've gotten down to a very important point, Raghunath. You've taken it to a very important place. Because where you were going was you're kind of defining, like, in other words, in certain schools of yoga, renunciation is like knowledge and renunciation, because renunciation is meant to come with knowledge, right? Gyan and vairagya, with recognizing with cold, hard, cold analysis, jnana, recognizing the material world and its temporality and so on. With that comes renunciation. So one's renunciation is seen as a practical demonstration of one's knowledge, right? I don't need these things. I don't need them for my happiness. So I walk away from the home and the comforts, what to speak of wearing jewelry and jewels and gold and all these things. I walk away from all of that. None of that will make me happy. I am Brahman. By nature, I'm blissful. So I turn my back on all of these things. But what you're saying is, when it comes to bhakti, that principle is at play, but it's not everything. There's a higher principle at play. And the higher principle at play is, by nature, I love and serve Krishna, right?
Krishna might tell you,
Wear
step it up.
gold. I wanted to see more gold.
He might put you in imagine if you're around very, very wealthy people, and for some reason Krishna wants you to wear a particular outfit, or to do some particular service. You got to be ready to do that. And he might tell you that Krishna might want you to build a temple in Beverly Hills, or he might want you to build a temple in Kenya. It doesn't matter where he's sending you. We're not attached to that. We'll just wherever you want.
So
Krishna.
If Krishna wanted you to be king, you would be willing to put on a golden crown with 9 different jewels on the tops of it.
I would definitely do that.
Definitely.
That's what he wanted. Just because I'm interested in astrological jewels and crowns.
Yeah. So our idea of renunciation, we get the idea of like that external renunciation, and that for many people that can be an important role, or at different times of life that may become more prominent.
It does help you give up things. I get it. Yeah. We've all cleaned out our closet and thrown stuff out. We feel like, oh, I feel free. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean when the next thing comes along, I won't be attached to that. Or it doesn't mean, so real attachment, we're not trying to get rid of attachment anyway. We're trying to get attached to Krishna. That's the difference.
Yeah. So rather than say, I'm going to renounce all of this stuff, we might say, actually, this stuff is useful and valuable in my service to Krishna. My service to Krishna, my love for Krishna becomes the higher principle than external renunciation, because that's internal renunciation. Everything is for God, right? Everything is for my beloved. That's the highest principle, higher than even knowledge and renunciation. And it's said that when one truly loves Krishna, then knowledge and renunciation, they come automatically. They may not appear exactly like you might be expecting them. And we see this we see Shastric examples of this. We see examples of this in these sacred texts like Pundarik Vidyanidhi, who externally, he was a man that looked like he was, externally looks like he was attached to opulences, but internally, nah.
Not attached at all. This is an interesting, unique flair about Bhakti Yoga is they'll throw a person like Pundarik Vidyanidhi in the whole mix.
Throw him in the mix.
Whereas most stories of yoga, it's really about renunciation. We're impressed with everything they've given up. They eat, they barely eat. And don't get me wrong, you do get benefit even doing sort of mundane austerities. You want to do something interesting? Sleep outside every night this year, or sleep outside all summer, even all summer. You get some type of benefit. Drink only, go on a fast or a water fast or a juice fast. You get benefit. Walk barefoot, on the earth for the rest of the summer, etc. You get some benefit by these types of renunciation, but it doesn't necessarily give you Krishna. It might give you more in health. It might go more in light. It might feel a little bit more grounded or connected
Peace.
or insightful or at peace. But that's not our win. Our win, and we even say this when we practice Ekadasi, which is fasting on the 11th day of the waxing and waning moon. So there's, fasting we do from grains and beans. But if you're like, the idea is we're supposed to be thinking of Krishna more. But if you're fasting and every time you fast, you get a headache and you get angry and you start offending people, and you're like, you're defeating the purpose of the fasting.
Another thing I liked about your answer, Raghunath, was it's like there's not a blanket policy on this. The blanket policy is we want to bring our minds to Krishna, right? Every rule, every regulation is meant for that, right? What is that verse again? Smarta vyasatatam Vishnu or Vishvartam no najatuchit, right? Right? Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. What is it? Sarvavedi nasedashur etiureva kinkara. All the other rules and the regulations are just meant to serve this one or these two, however you want to say it, right? In other words, the blanket policy is that my mind should be going to Krishna, whether I'm wearing a gold crown with jewels on it or whether I shave my head and walk around in a loincloth. However I'm regulating my life, it's meant to bring my mind to God. And so even within I know that at one point, one of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, one of his female disciples, was kind of like, she shaved her head and she was, I think, wearing only white, which is kind of something like the widows do in India, right?
Yeah.
And Prabhupada wrote a letter to her. I think it was like half humorous but half serious, where he said, no, go ahead, wear a nice sari and grow your hair and all that. And he said something like, Krishna's not interested in ugly gopis. He said it like that, but I think what he meant was like, be beautiful for Krishna, be beautiful for Krishna.
That's what I said. That's what I said from the beginning.
That's why I'm saying I like your answer. But if that was a much older lady, Prabhupada likely would have encouraged that, I believe, because I think also as we get older, we're meant to let go of these things, commonly.
It's very
not
easy.
Everyone, no blanket policy.
What good is it if I'm a brahmachari, but I still have the concept like, oh man, look at that car she's driving, or look, I wish I had that car. Those desires are there. We have to be realized and understand this thing won't give me what I need. That's a very deep realization, even though it sounds easy on paper.
But it may be helpful to cut these things off for us. And, the policy is what's going to bring my mind to God, right? And so it may be an act of devotion for Suv to say, I won't wear gold or jewels. I offer those to Krishna. I don't wear them to decorate myself. Or I might say, I decorate myself for Krishna's pleasure. It could go either way, Or
if you do have some jewels, you use it on your deity.
You can offer them to
you can also offer them to your deity.
Like, I don't wear jewelry. I got one ring, right? That's my wedding ring. So like, there's a purpose for that, right?
Is there? What's the purpose?
Is there? And so everybody knows I'm off the market, Right? It's like that.
He's off the market. Ladies.
Off the market, ladies. Sorry. and so, but it's made of silver, right? because but it was. I think it cost me literally like $2. I mean, I got it down at Shriji Jewelers. They took a little thing out to cut it. Boom. That's it. And but it was offered. It was offered to the lotus feet of Radha Sundar in Vrindavan. I wear it. I remember them. And other than that, I just wear my tulsi, my neck beads, and I don't want to wear rings. I don't even want to wear a watch or anything like that. Like I prefer to keep it simple like that. But for someone else, they might do it different. The test is am I doing it for Krishna or am I doing it to glorify myself?
That's the real test.
That's the test, right? Okay. So it could go either way. All right, one more. Are you ready, Raghunath?
Yeah.
I think you might like this one.
How does Nityananda Chandra know about my cat?
Tell Raghunath,
we
tell that
mention
to
that on the-
Raghunath's cat. No, because he knows. We've talked about that cat is hitting on me all the time.
Well, the cat is hitting on you, yeah.
He wants to make out. I'm like, no. Hey, take a look at my ring. What's that cat been? It must have been.
Maybe that
lonely
cat was
with
your
them.
cat.
Who's
Maybe
the
it was
cat
your
with?
lover in a previous life.
It could have been. Who was the cat with when you were away?
He's with Brandy Radharani from Jersey
Oh,
Shore.
right.
Just loving up
You have
those.
to hear what's going on over there.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the last question. It's one is about the evil eye.
It's real.
Okay.
Evil eye's totally real.
Okay, typically in our tradition, after a mega event like a marriage or a housewarming ceremony, there's a custom of sort of taking an arti, taking salt in the hands, making a fist, moving it in circles over the family members with the intention that the evil eye of outsiders will be warded off if there is any. I fail to understand, is this really relevant in bhakti? Is there something like an evil eye which outsiders can cast which will negatively affect one? Raghunath, is this true? Is it
Totally
total
true.
superstition?
Totally true.
Okay.
The superstitions are based in truths, and they just have the Vedic culture is insight into all these. Also, if you have babies, you got to watch. You got to cover your babies sometimes publicly because they could get the evil eye. Also, it's like they say that Brahmins don't eat publicly. Because if someone looks at your food while you're eating and they're like, oh, that looks delicious, their desire contaminates the food.
I remember that in the feast in Vrindavan. Did you ever go
Yeah.
to feast in Vrindavan, like in one of the Vrindavan temples? And you're all like sitting in a courtyard and they're serving it out to everyone and you're kind of outdoors.
Yeah.
And then they have these little boys, like the little boys. Do you remember what they would do sometimes?
No.
They would just like just to keep in one sense to keep the monkeys away and to keep the animals away and to keep the animals even from lusting over the food, right?
What do they do?
They give the little boys like a little toy bow and arrow, like just a little. I mean, it's just a tiny little thing with a little, it doesn't go anywhere, but it's enough that they feel like they have an important responsibility. Okay, you ward off the animals,
Right.
And then
I mean, in bhakti, we really trust Krishna, but at the same time, I firmly believe not all of the superstitions. But these
okay, I firmly believe however
firmly
ridiculous
believe
it
that
may be.
some of the superstitions are really work.
Well, I agree. I agree with you in this sense, Raghunath. I believe that there are all kind of things, supernatural things that we're out of touch with and unaware with, and that other cultures may be more in touch with. And they created rites to deal with these. But this goes back to the answer to the last question. Ultimately, I'm not too worried about anyone giving me the evil eye. It's not like a major.
Yeah, you're not worried until you get the evil eye. Then you're going to be all worried about it. He's talking really big right now, Mara. He's talking real big. Oh, I'm not worried about the evil eye.
No, I chant the Hari. I chant Hare Krishna. That's what I do. Like we feel Krishna will protect me from everything. The cowherd boys, they walked right into the mouth of the big snake, right? Aghasura.
Yeah.
They were like, well, maybe it's dangerous, but Krishna will protect us. And as Krishna devotees, that's how we think. So if we do these rituals, we do them again in consciousness of Krishna, right? Or we may just feel like, I'm just in Krishna's hands. My entire life is a ritual offered to him. My chanting of my japa, my reading of Bhagavatam. All of that is what protects me in this world. Nothing else can protect me. If Krishna wants to protect me, I'll be protected. If he doesn't want to protect me, then, I won't be protected, even no matter how many rituals I do. How about that?
That is one way to look at it, Prabhu.
Okay.
That is one way to look at it.
It's a darn good way to look at it, Raghunath.
Darn good way to look at it. Yep.
Right.
But there are other ways to be.
Okay.
Like the Lord has given us ways to deal with mystical.
That's another way
inauspicious
too.
things
And
as
when
well.
when you look at Krishna's pastimes, actually his mother's doing all these rituals to protect him. Why? It's her. It's an expression of her love that she's like, I will do every ritual to protect Krishna. Right.
Right.
It's like it's an expression of her love for Krishna.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's people I think that of course, that we say the holy name, the holy name, the holy name, but sometimes you need to go to even in the material world, you need to go to a psychiatrist to help you.
No faith, Raghunath. No faith. Oh, we say the holy name, but sometimes the holy name.
That's why he's recommended this. There's some people that they need to go to a psychiatrist because as they bring the holy name into maybe it'll take lifetimes, or maybe they'll offend people. They can't get the offensive.
Well, that's the point. If I
attitude out
can't
of their
absorb
mind.
my mind in the holy name, then it's not going to have the same effect.
Exactly. So some people I feel need a good exorcism. Some people I feel like they're haunted by spirits, or I think some people really need
What about where they smash the pumpkin? You collect all the ghouls and the goblins and the ghost in one big pumpkin.
Smash that pumpkin.
And then you run outside and you smash the pumpkin.
Yeah, I think that whatever, here's the deal. I think the principle is this. We can both agree on this.
Let's see.
Whatever it
We'll see
takes
if I
to
agree.
help you evolve in bhakti.
Okay, that I accept.
Whatever it takes to help you evolve in
And
bhakti.
all it takes is Tulsi beads and the holy name. For some people.
For some people.
Okay.
What will take. What will take. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. It may take gold. It may take a crown.
It may take. Who knows?
All
I
right.
don't know everything. We don't
right.
know everything.
Raghunath, you're going to have a wonderful weekend. You're not only going to spend time with the wonderful devotees in Long Beach and Laguna. You're not
I'm
only going
spending
to
time with Lord Jagannath.
Well, hold on. Let me say you're spending time with your kids. You're spending time with people coming for your program at Yoga 108. You're spending time with the whole Vaishnava community in California who come for this LA Rath Yatra, including Radhanath Swami. You're going to see Radhanath Swami tomorrow.
Can't believe it.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. Great. I'm going to miss you. And I'll
Have
come
a
back.
wonderful
We'll check in
weekend,
Monday.
So
we're going
won't
to do the
see you
show
tomorrow.
next week at 8 then. Can we do the show next week?
But tomorrow I'm doing the show at 8, and I'll be interviewing the walking Swami, Bhakti Marg Swami. And then Monday through whatever we'll be doing 8 a.m. Eastern time. Yeah?
Yep.
California style. Okay. All right, that's it. I hope, Suv, I hope our answers have been somewhat helpful.
Did we hit all our answers?
We did almost, I think we may have done all of our questions.
We're in our traditional mega event like marriages, housewarming. Oh, yeah. I got to learn this salt ritual.
The salt thing?
I got some evil
You don't
eyes.
need it, Raghunath. You don't need it. Krishna's protecting you at every step.
Always. And Krishna's protecting me by giving me interesting salt rituals.
But you don't even know it. So maybe he doesn't want you to know it.
Well, I think this question.
Why are you endeavoring separately?
I'm not. Krishna specifically gave this question. This is a clue. It's a clue. Krishna's saying, you might need a salt ritual, Raghu. Look into it.
Good point. Good point.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us here. Thanks, Facebook people. We do this every day, pretty much. We do this pretty much every day.
Pretty much.
And you can join us.
I had to drag you on today.
It was hard. I fought tooth and nail. To drag me on the show, but I miss everybody. I'm just exhausted.
That's Parmananda saying that Satchidananda Swami did that water ritual for you when you took off for your tour.
And
Remember
it works.
That?
It works.
You see?
Satchidananda Maharaj did a water ritual for our car as we were leaving, and all our obstacles went away miraculously.
Beautiful.
There are rituals that can be used for Krishna service. I think that's the message of this show today. I think that's the message. Whatever Krishna gives you, you use that for Krishna.
Evil eye, Raghunath. What do they call it?
Even my mom knew about the evil eye.
Your mother told you about it?
Yeah. Evil eye's real. Every culture's got the evil eye.
You know this thing?
I don't even do that thing.
Huh?
That thing is inauspicious.
You can block it with the salt.
Yeah, I know. I don't even like it.
Look at you.
No devils. No devils. That was my mom would always say. No devils in the house. No devils on Halloween.
Did you wear, or did you have a nice cross when you were growing up that you used to wear?
Yeah, of course.
And those other things, again, I mentioned these one time, but those flat things with a picture of a saint on them, you know what I'm talking about?
I know.
Everyone used to wear those back in the day. I never see them anywhere nowadays.
Kids don't wear
Catholics
them.
used to wear those.
Yeah.
Remember those? What are they called? Someone tell us what those are called.